We're going to have a look at a few rocks today, and of course we know that Browne Academy rocks too. You've recently been on a field trip, and this is what you might have seen when you were a few miles away, and then when you were getting very, very close. And inside, some amazing formations, uh, all made of limestone. Um, in the caves, and they are just incredible. A couple of my favourites are the fried egg formation there. Not sure they look quite good enough to eat, but they look very. We're looking in the neighbourhood at some of the rocks. This is one that you could pick up with two hands and dropping a little bit of hydrochloric acid on, and we're looking for bubbles and really don't see any around that portion there. So it's not going to be one of the normal uh, sedimentary rocks, the limestone. And the gravel path here, often it's limestone chippings, and just see small little crushed rocks. Again, we're going to test it with hydrochloric acid. You can use vinegar as well, just a drop or two on a rock, and I rinse them off with water afterwards. And we're just looking for any signs of bubbling. These look as if they're starting to bubble really very, very slowly. And a lot of gravel paths, a lot of chippings like this are put into concrete, and there's a little bit of bubbling happening there. So these are limestone based, which are sedimentary rocks. And these tests here look as though they're bubbling really quite slowly. And so more use of the hydrochloric acid here. Can't really see any bubbling on that one. Maybe not, maybe slightly slowly, but nothing vigorous. And the rock samples that you've been given in the packet, there are four of them. The limestone chippings there, the browny ones are calcite, the flat ones are a little like shale, but they're still limestone based, and then lava rock. So that's definitely the igneous rock. That'll be sedimentary, and this is the hydrochloric acid that we're testing it with, and we'll be wearing goggles to be safe, and test each of the rocks in turn with the hydrochloric acid. So small amount, only a few drops, putting it on a level surface so it's not just going to run off very, very quickly. Pop it on, let the surface react, and while that's reacting, let's put some on, some, we know that's limestone, the shell, and the bubbling is really quite phenomenal on that. It's calcium carbonate, the same chemical that's in limestone, and because of the slope it's running off. If we look around the edges, I think we can just see a tiny amount of bubbles, but nothing like the shell that we've been looking at. So that may be more metamorphic shale, the limestone chippings here that we're going to test. Lots of little lumps that are irregularly shaped, and almost looks so it's just soaking in a little bit of bubbling down at the bottom there. And here's some rose quartz, which is silicon dioxide. Here's the turquoise and copper aluminum phosphate, big name, a metamorphic rock. And finally, the blue topaz, aluminum silicate, which is an igneous rock. and you'll be given one of those three little bottles. Don't open them, just because you don't want them spread around. Like and back to Luray. And as a summary, remember there are three types of rocks: igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic. The igneous rocks formed from volcanic material, which was once very hot. Many look shiny, glass-like. The obsidian, black glass material. Basalt granite, and this is a volcanic eruption in 2009 in the Philippines. And then there's sedimentary rock, layers of deposits from the shells of marine creatures, chalk limestone, which often contain the fossils of marine animals, sandstones, and shale. And in the picture here, red siltstone layers, the lower ones, with lighter limestone layers above from the Virgin Formation in Utah, USA. And then we look at metamorphic rocks, and these are sedimentary rocks that have been altered by immense heat or pressure. These include marble, some slates, and schist. So the heat is transforming rocks into a much denser material, and the folded rock you see here is made of more than one type of original rock. And to discover more and a rock identification key, you can go and track rock hounds down.